Hey guys, it's Tia. Welcome to this video all about reviews on Etsy. Now today I am going to be giving you a useful tip that's recently worked for me, talking about negative reviews on Etsy and what you can do if you get them. Also a mini checklist of all the things you can do to get more reviews if you are trying to build up that bank of reviews as a new seller. Now Etsy reviews are kind of important in particular because every review by all your customers shows up on every listing you have for some reason. And also star seller, if you're aiming for that, is 4.8 out of 5 star average. So it's not very lenient. And to get the badge, it's a pretty narrow margin of safety there. So I'll also be giving some tips on preventative measures I use to try and keep customers happy so this kind of thing doesn't happen. Now, I've talked about this before, but one thing that people said was really useful was to see the exact wording of what I wrote, so they can use that or adapt it to their own situation. Obviously it's just a guide, but it's useful to see what other sellers do in similar situations. Now, just a reminder, make sure you like the video and subscribe. Turn on the notifications bell if you want to see more from me. It really helps the channel out. I'm sure you know that. Now, I just wanted to show you this conversation that I had with a customer recently to highlight the fact that a negative review might not be, the end, and it can be amended with just some simple communication. Obviously, I've got to hide the customer name and their details for privacy reasons. Also, just giving you guys an idea about how to word a message like this, because it is kind of awkward to have to ask a customer to remove or change a review, which only the customer themselves can do. You can't do that on the back end. So to be honest, I thought about how to word this pretty carefully. Took a while to sort of come up with this, and making sure that it's sort of polite, but also trying to push them to try and ensure the highest chance of success. So I thought it would be really helpful for you to see that as well. You can have a look at how I did it and see if you think it was a good way to go about it or if you would have done it differently. And also, if you think I should have refunded, if you think there could be a way to do it without a refund perhaps, just using power of words. As I said, this is just how I did it and I am open to suggestions. But before we go through this, obviously I have to say that sometimes negative reviews are just part of life, and once you get enough sales you are bound to get negative reviews, because no matter how good your product is, it's just statistically not everyone is going to be 100% happy, and a lot of customers don't actually realize that anything less than a 5 out of 5 star review is can be pretty harmful to new sellers because of that tight seller threshold. And you cannot remove or edit your reviews. So as I said, only customers can change the reviews. That's something else to bear in mind. Now, I was sort of Googling what to do after negative reviews, and I came across a pretty interesting article. They suggested this course of action, and which was just to reply to whoever left the review. And I was sort of questioning whether it was worth my time. Do customers even check their messages? But after I discussed this with other sellers, I decided to try it, and it did work a couple of times. Now, from this, I've come up with some general rules of thumb I follow regarding reviews. Firstly, you should aim to respond publicly to all 5-star reviews with just, a simple thank you will do, just so prospective customers can see your listings and get the impression that you're an active seller that does read the feedback. And it also encourages more customers to actually post reviews, because they'll be convinced that you will look at their review and they'll get a reply. Now, anything less than 5 stars, you can first respond privately. And if they don't reply to you, or if they don't agree to change the review, then you can respond publicly, but we'll get onto that. Also, you can learn a lot from reviews to help improve your products. Maybe you can make your description clearer in some way, to avoid confusion, or you can even amend your original product. So enough chat, let's go on to this conversation. So this customer bought one of my fonts, and bearing in mind the images and description, in my mind at least, clearly showed what the font would look like. I mean, I literally said it in the description, fonts are as shown in the full display. But because of the way I decorated the cover image, they thought the fonts would be layered. Now, to be honest, I didn't even know that was a thing, but I guess that's what they thought. So they left a comment being like, this was a waste of money, this was unusable. Yeah, I can't remember exactly what they wrote, but they just wrote stuff like that. So here's the DM that I sent them. Hi, very sorry to hear you were unsatisfied with your purchase. The fonts are as shown and described on the listing, which can be seen beforehand, and each crafted from scratch, but we respect the fact that you thought they would be layered. At the end of the day, we'd like for all customers to be satisfied. So if you would like a refund or additional items in exchange for amending your review, we're happy to provide. Now, they replied back saying that would be good. So I refunded, and they didn't initially agree about the review, but I just trusted and gave the refund. And then I sort of gently reminded them about the review, and as you can see, it paid off because here's the new review. I guess the main thing I learned from that was to make it even clearer than I have done already, about what my fonts will look like, and what you see is what you get. And I edited the listing. That's probably helped because I haven't got any review problems with that since. Also planning to actually make some layered fonts because those are clearly in demand. So through a negative review, I've actually discovered a potentially new market. So it's not all bad news, right? Now, obviously, this is not going to work all the time. I've had it work on 2 customers so far. This one obviously edited their review, and the other one gave a 1-star review and removed it. That's out of messaging 4 customers that have actually given less than 5-star reviews. So 50% success rate so far. But that's better than expected, I guess, because I didn't think customers replied at all. When I make a profile on a website or something to buy one thing, I don't really check that profile again. So you won't know if you don't try. And definitely something you can try if you're having issues with reviews. If you're getting a lot of negative reviews, it might be the product or the description, so have a look at that. As you can see, the issue was resolved for me pretty quickly. Now, if they don't reply and they refuse to change the review, then you can post a public reply to show other customers that you do listen to and respond to feedback. Now, for me personally, I just sort of copy and pasted this initial message that I sent. So yeah, that's basically what happened. Now, I'm going to give you a list of things that I do and things that you can do to not only get more reviews, but also try and prevent negative reviews ahead of time. So actually what I do is I write a short paragraph that says, "Thank you for your purchase. Please leave a review if you are satisfied. It really helps us out. Also, feel free to send pictures of your work our way. We love to see what our customers have created." And because I sell sort of graphic assets, fonts, that kind of thing, templates, so it encourages image reviews. And also for digital products, I write, "This item is a digital download only. You will not receive any physical products in the mail," because for some reason, people don't read. Underneath it, I write, "Before leaving a negative review," in bold caps, "please contact us on Etsy before giving us less than 5 stars and allow 48 hours to reply. We will do our best to assist you." And then I paste these 2 things into the customer messages and any inserts I have. If you want to go the extra mile, you can send a message to every customer after they purchase. For me, the review to purchase ratio is about 10%. If I get 100 purchases, about 10 people review. So if you want to increase that number and get reviews a lot faster, you can message customers after they purchase. Although at the same time, there are downsides to messaging every customer. So if they weren't actually happy with the purchase in the first place, but they just couldn't be bothered to leave a negative review, and then you sort of poke them, it could get you more negative reviews. So it really depends on how confident you are in the quality of your products. Also, it shouldn't come as a surprise that the more expensive your items are, the more compelled customers will be to leave negative reviews if they are not happy with spending that much money and they don't think they got their value for money. So if you are selling very expensive items, that is something to watch out for. I know this is especially a problem for print-on-demand sellers because the fulfillment is getting more and more expensive, but print quality and delivery can be subpar and it's kind of out of your control. So despite how passive it is something that I've cut back on selling on Etsy. Now, I don't really have a solution for this, unfortunately. It's just something that you have to figure out whether you have enough time for, and also researching your production partners. Also, last point I'm going to make is that having titles and tags that are not only SEO optimized but also relevant, like if I put the keyword layered font in my titles or tags, which I didn't, but if I did, then that would kind of be like, yeah, well, obviously people that search for that won't be happy when the result shows up because it's not an accurate tag. So basically, avoid tag spamming irrelevant keywords because even though it might help with traffic, you'll get unhappy customers, and that is going to impact your shop in the long run, right? Hopefully that makes sense. So if anyone else has suggestions on how to get more reviews, better reviews, let me know down in the comments below. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Hope Q4 is going well for everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.